Strong as weed. How the fuck my Dior, same color as my lane. 1200 for my hoodie, I ain't buy it to be seen.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces all of these. I'm talking.
Chicago is another place of doom where the streets don't forgive, and trust is just another word for weakness. 800 TJ, a name that rang through the trenches like a warning shot. Feared, respected, untouchable. The streets called him the Backdoor King, a mastermind who played the game cold and calculated. But in a city where snakes move in silence, even the ones who set the plays can become the next play. TJ was deep in the war between 800 and Bloodhound, a beef that ended the lives of so many young talents. Lil Scoom, a close affiliate of Bloodhound Lil Jeff, was backdoored just a couple of days. Lil Jeff was shot a month ago after being shot 19 times while on a mission to kill his ops. A video that talks about the whole story is in the description, but we might say a brief of how he was murdered later in the video. Even just after the news went viral about Bloodhound Lil Jeff's murder an hour ago, a fan mourning the loss of Lil Jeff posted his picture, paying respect to a young talent whose life was cut short. But what happened next showed just how cold the game really is. 800 TJ saw the post. Instead of silence, he left laughing emojis in the comments, mocking the dead. That wasn't enough. He went on Instagram, posted Lil Jeff's picture on his story, and taunted his enemies, letting them know he wasn't done yet. But in Chicago, you make enemies when you move like a king. And when you make enemies, you're only one step away from being the next play, because that's the story of 800 TJ. He didn't stop there. He went live on Instagram with his homie playing Lil Jeff's song in the background, dissing him as usual.
Hey, turn that to the... Hey, TJ, he's tweaking. Turn that LAX red on bleed. LAX red on bleed. Red on bleed.
I was born on the beach, I know those slow around, full of disgusting gangs. But I do what regular songs, we ain't gonna talk about. Every SP we done.
To make it even worse, 800 TJ took it personally, going live on IG with the caption, Lil Jeff, while on Lil Jeff's block, dancing around with his homie Lil Mike.
I take your J before I buy it. This what you think I know, so I from side to side. Yeah. Every really spank ass turn side to side. Nigga, don't get your gas smoked like the side. I take your J before I buy it. Good with the clock. This ain't thicker. Every really spank shit turns side to side. Damn. LAX red on bleed. Next film they do it on T5 shots and say that they free. Get wrong, guess what? They gon' see all the reason.
But while 800 TJ was doing this, he never knew his ops were calculating how and when to get him, since he thought he was untouchable. After Lil Jeff's death, 800 TJ made one fatal mistake. He let his guard down. He laughed at his ops online, taunted them in the comments, and went live, dissing the very people who were calculating how and when to get their revenge after he was involved in a gun trade that ended up killing his homie turned ops. Less than a month later, on July 11, 2024, he was shot and killed after going on live dissing his ops. However, before we get into the details of his final moments, let's talk about how 800 became one of the most feared and most hated gangs in Chicago, because to understand why 800 TJ was targeted, you first have to understand the terror his gang brought to the city. 800 gang terrified the streets of Chicago. Chicago's streets have always been a battlefield, but some wars leave deeper scars than others. And one gang, more than any other, became the face of terror: 800. The streets called them ruthless. The internet called them Chicago's most hated gang. But how did it all begin? To understand, we have to rewind to the bloody shootouts that shook the city, the wars that put 800 on a collision course with their most feared rivals, and the moves that made them a target. The conflict between Gang 800 and their rivals wasn't just another street beef. This was war, and every move was met with a deadlier counter, with an online fan giving some part of their enemies 051YM, Paxtown, Pockettown, Sircon, gangs that weren't just rivals but sworn ops. And the truth is, the more they dominated the streets, the more their enemies plotted their downfall. Every diss, backdoor, and kill was another step closer to their reckoning. And for 800 terajoules, that moment came sooner than he ever expected. Back in 2013, tensions between 800 and a group of gangster disciples from 63rd and St. Lawrence exploded into a deadly beef, one that would leave a trail of bodies. And at the center of it all was a name that still echoes in the trenches: Big Mike, a well-known member of the 800 gang. Big Mike wasn't just another soldier in 800. He was the type of person to spark a war and watch the flames spread. It all started when Big Mike allegedly shot up one of the most famous homes in Chicago's drill scene, the residence of none other than FBG Duck. But in the trenches,
They gotta
it's not
chill
just about
with
what
all
you
of
do,
these
it's
movie
about how you
clips,
move
man.
after. Instead of laying low,
It's getting
Big
corny.
Mike took the disrespect to another level. He went on Twitter, openly calling out FBG Duck and taunting him for not retaliating.
Stop flexing, you bitch ass nigga. What you say?
800 Boss Smooth would also what you do. It's about how you move after. Instead of laying low, Big Mike took the disrespect to another level. He went on Twitter, openly calling out
Stop flexing, you bitch ass nigga. Motherfucker send shots to you. Forgive me, you still ain't want to turn up.
FBG Duck and taunting him for not retaliating. 800 Boss Smooth would also join in taunting FBG Duck and say that they made him move after shooting up his house. Big Mike didn't realize that in Chicago, dissing the wrong people means you're only one play away from becoming the next target. This move escalated the beef between 800 and 63rd to a whole new level, setting off a chain reaction of backdoors, ambushes, and street retaliation. The streets don't let things slide, and St. Lawrence wasn't about to let Big Mike's actions go unpunished. It didn't take long for his enemies to respond. Not long after his Twitter taunts and alleged involvement in shootings, members from St. Lawrence caught up with Big Mike, and when they did, they made sure he wouldn't be sliding ever again. The same man who once moved recklessly in the streets of Chicago, terrorizing his ops, was now confined to a wheelchair, even to this day. They shot him in both legs, leaving him paralyzed for life. According to Reddit fans, Big Mike must be the one who shot up Mama Duck's crib, and because of this, he was shot twice in 2012. The second shooting left him paralyzed, and according to Big Mike himself, that was the work of McCreek. And if that's true, Big Mike's fate was already sealed before he even knew it. FBG Duck would waste no time going online and replying to 800 Boss Smooth, implying that the GDs from St. Lawrence and 63rd were directly behind paralyzing Big Mike. FBG Butta would also talk about the situation, how he had a fight with 800 in front of Mama Duck's house, claiming later that night, Big Mike came and did some and got put in a wheelchair because of that, seemingly saying his fight was the reason why Big Mike got shot and put in a chair with him, also adding that it was God's wrath, that it was just a punishment for shooting up a place with kids on Easter Day.
And you okay, you made mention of him and him allegedly being put in a wheelchair in retaliation to a shooting he allegedly did where he was shooting at somebody's house.
When I say he got put in a wheelchair for shooting that fucking mouth.
I'm saying allegedly.
Now look, let me clear the way. You know, when you do, like, it was Easter Day, it was kids and so we gonna speak facts, right? You shot at the house, we weren't there. Well, none of the guys that we was all on St. Lawrence. Motherfuckers knew we was on St. Lawrence. We just whooped your homie and them on St. Lawrence in front of the stove, right? So you did that fluky shit, but you shot at folks' mama crib on Easter while the kids in that bitch Easter hunt. That's clown shit. Punished you, he didn't take your life, gang, but he took something else away from you to show you your evil that you caused, that you done, gang.
Now, 800 would continue to dish out violence themselves, killing a member of MC Creek after a brutal altercation. On September 9th, 2013, a man named Alan Ross, known on the street as Fish from Mack Creek, was found lying in the grass of Washington Park at 6 a.m. Initially, it was thought he died from a gunshot wound to the back of his head. However, the medical examiner would later determine that he had actually been beaten to death, with online Redditors claiming Alan Ross suffered from a mental disability.
From Marvel Studios, summer begins.
With the thunderbolts!
What?
Thunderbolts.
Delinquents.
making his death more heartbreaking. A popular rumor would go viral claiming Fish was actually murdered over a mere $5 debt by an 800 member called Pyro, along with 3 other men. 800 members seemed pretty happy about Fish's killing. For example, Boss Smooth released a diss track, 61 dead ops, we don't do no fighting, end up like Fish. However, Boss Smooth wouldn't go unpunished as he was also backdoored and murdered, which would be discussed later in the video. The death of Booby, the first lady of Jarrow City. In Chicago's gang culture, even a party meant for remembrance can turn into a battlefield. Back in 2015, a group of 800 members, including Fats, 800 TJ, Pyro, and others, were invited to a gathering in the East Alley of the 6,100 block of Cottage Grove. But this wasn't just any party. According to documents found online, the event was meant to commemorate the death of a gang member named Crack. Almost every major gang set was in attendance. 051, Jarrow City, 800, and more. What started as a night of respect and remembrance quickly turned into a night of bloodshed. While the party was still in full swing, old tensions resurfaced. An altercation broke out between 800 and Taekwon World, TW, a war that had been brewing since September or October 2012. The history between these two gangs was filled with violence, retaliation, and backdoor plays, and on that night, those old wounds were reopened. What started as a heated argument quickly escalated into a full-blown fight, and before long, gunfire erupted. Booby, the first lady of Jarrow City, was caught in the crossfire. Booby wasn't just any gang affiliate, she was a respected and loved figure who moved across different sets. Many gangs rocked with her, and her presence at the party was a sign of how deeply connected she was in the streets. As bullets flew through the crowd, one struck Booby, a tragic accident in the middle of a senseless shootout. But what made her death even more heartbreaking? She was pregnant. Not only was she carrying Lil Boo's child, but she also already had a son. She didn't really want to go to this party, but she ended up going to the party anyway because she had some smokes that she needed to sell. But she never knew that would be the end of her life. When the news broke about her death, 800 gangs were mad about it. Even the dude who did it was mad about it. He knew that Bullet wasn't meant for her, and they all loved her too, which means it was an accident. However, her death would later stir up the beef between 800 and Jarrow City. In a live session with 800 Fats and Lil Don from Pocketown, 800 Fats would later reference her death, bragging and adding her as one of the bodies dropped by him and his fellow 800 members. He also admitted to having killed 5 people.
Motherfuckers' family members got shot in their stomach and had to abort their baby, all type of shit. Who else?
You ask me what you do to people, I'm asking you what I do to people.
Listen, we not even talking about that right now, but
okay then, don't ask me that.
No, I'm talking about you and me knowing you, what I do to people on Kevin Gray, what I do to people. No, what you did once before on Pyro, how many funerals did it's been? On Pyro, stop that. You better slow down, baby boy.
Hey, Fazzo, you can't talk that talk with me, folks. You can't talk that talk with me, folks. We go toe to toe, folks.
You better slow your roll, baby boy.
Hey,
the heated argument continued, highlighting personal grievances and alleged affiliations with opposing gangs. And after this Boobies incident, Pyro, a well-known 800 member responsible for the death of Fish from Mack Creek in late May 2016, would suffer a brutal ending in a similar circumstance to what happened to his victim. Pyro, real name Kevin Larry, was in the room with a group of friends from MOB. According to official documents and information from a Reddit user, the night started out normal. Tommy and his fiancée Jennifer were heading to the gas station when they saw E-Boy and 10 Milli outside, playing dice. A couple of hours later, they all ended up back at the same house. By 6 a.m., Domo, another MOB member, broke into Tommy's door to join the dice game. Things got heated, but for a while everything settled. Then, out of nowhere, an argument erupted. Mob E-Boy left first. Then, 10 Milli and Domo kept playing, but another argument broke out, over just $5 or $10. At this point, 10 Milli left too. The tension in the room was thick, but Pyro was still asleep, unaware of what was happening around him. Domo apparently got mad and woke Pyro up and told Pyro to get out of the house. At this point, Pyro was pleading, exclaiming, "I didn't do anything." and Domo threatened to shoot Pyro, bringing out a handgun with an extended magazine. Then Nut from MOB Pyro's cousin told Domo to stop waving the gun in his cousin's face. As Pyro was walking out of the apartment exclaiming he didn't do anything, Domo released the trigger and shot him in the chest at 7:47 a.m. and even went on to say, "I should have killed the whole house." Domo, whose real name is Dominic Greer, was arrested and charged with Pyro's death. He was sentenced to over 50 years in prison for the murder of Pyro. When the news broke out announcing his death, many fans began to react to his demise. Some were blaming him for being in the midst of MOB. However, he was innocent at the point because he never involved himself in the dice game because he was asleep. Others stated it was karma that led to his death because of what he did to Fish from Matt Creek on September 8, 2013. Now, the next shootout would allegedly include 800 TJ getting himself involved with his fellow 800 members who were seemingly looking out for revenge on their rivals from MOB, making them prime suspects in one of Chicago's most infamous shootings on the 9th of October 2018. 800 TJ, whose real name is Tyjan Bush, was from the south side of Chicago, specifically an area nicknamed Burnside on 93rd and Cottage. He lived with his father throughout his teenage years, but was constantly in and out of jail.
So what was your household like growing up then? Like, did you have both parents in the home, any brothers and sisters, stuff like that?
Yeah, I did. Well, my daddy, he always be book type shit like that. That's Ray J. He always book type shit.
At 13, TJ officially jumped off the porch and fully embraced the street life.
At age 13, jumping in steamers, who taught you how to drive?
At this age, he caught his first criminal case for stealing a car. 800 TJ started coming around 61st and Cottage Grove, the territory of a gang named 800, from which he got his street name 800 TJ. At the time, TJ would become a beloved member of 800, and from here, the rest became history. On the 9th of October 2018, Ventriez Chris, also known as Dusky Tha Man, was tragically murdered. This was the last known photograph of him with his friends before his untimely death. Dusky, at the age of 25, was fatally shot in the head on his block. According to reports, the shooting occurred just before 4 p.m. in the 5600 block of South Michigan Avenue, a place around Chicago's neighborhood. Dusky was shot in the head, and a 20-year-old woman was also injured, struck in her left foot. Both were taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where Dusky Tha Man was pronounced dead at 4:33 p.m., and the woman was stabilized. Members of 600 would be speculated to be the prime suspects because they were seen driving around with guns just a few moments before Dusky was killed. There have been theories going around that Oblak might be the one responsible for the death of Dusky, but we cannot be sure. However, the 600 gang became the one with a large number of votes involved in Dusky's death. However, after Dusky's death, while his friends were hurt deeply and vowed revenge, his ops would go live to taunt his death as Memo 600 went live on IG, playing a song in the background while dissing Dusky.
That, and then before you know it, we woke up in the morning and Fats, Twine, and that.
After the death of Dusky the following day, MOB members would retaliate by killing a 600 member named Waldo, which was seemingly speculated as a get-back for Dusky and for taunting him while he was dead. Waldo was a beloved member of 600. He was among the first to go straight to the internet and diss Dusky after his death. According to rumors, a car consisting of 2 to 3 MOB members and 1 GeoDrive member were driving around 600 blocks all day when they noticed Waldo. Some said Waldo was lacking on his own, while others said he was going to the doctor with his pregnant baby mother when a car pulled up and shot Waldo in the head. Pictures of his body circulated around the internet, capturing his lifeless body on the ground. The red circle was where Waldo was killed. The 800 members were said to be happy to have avenged the killing of their fallen brother. However, this wouldn't be seen as enough for 800 members, as they would allegedly strike again at Dusky's funeral, held on October 22, 2018. This is where the funeral would be tragically shot up, leaving 6 people shot. According to reports, the funeral was held at a church where many gang sets attended, like MOB, STL, and 051YM. And after the funeral, people started leaving the premises, and then tragedy struck. At around 12:20 p.m., shooters started firing at the group of people gathered outside with AR, with witnesses saying it was with big guns. As the firing was going on, members at the funeral started firing back. Allegedly, one of the alleged shooters got Wooski from STL in the head. Many rumors would spread after the shooting, debating exactly who it was and who could have been responsible for the shootout. Many also theorized that the shootout must have been from Oblak or 600 members who would shoot up the funeral as revenge for Waldo. The claim would allegedly become evident as King Von from Oblak would reference the funeral shooting like the track, Grandson for President, where he mentioned the shooting of Wooski. I've been killing shit for too long, I'm like a veteran. Wooski got shot, now he taking medicine. But anyways, GDK. And also in the song Back Again where he raps, at your funeral, I might just slide, rest in P nigga. Shoot up everybody that's outside. Bet Wooski feel this one. I bet Wooski still twitching. He changed, something different. However, many believed it was actually 800 that might have been the ones involved in the shootout. And much like Oblak members who would talk about it in their songs, 800 members would leave as many clues relating to the funeral shooting. 800 Fats would rap in the song Do Some, you know I'm gripping my toolie, run up on 'em, have 'em looking. Like Wooski, slide to the funeral and shoot us a movie. And also, in the track Head Tap Fats would rap. Up the Glock, quick head tap, now he looking Wooski slow. However, Lil Fats may not have been involved in the shooting as the police reports describe the alleged shooters to be carrying short dreads, as some Redditors would as well match up the description to 800 TJ as the alleged shooter involved in the funeral shooting, with some also confirming the claim to be 800 Gang. Speculation suggested that the 800 Gang had their eyes on this funeral for a reason. Their beef with STL ran deep, and things had been heating up for years. One 800 member had even threatened to beat up KI, a well-known STL affiliate, but this war wasn't just between 800 and STL. Originally, 800 and 51 were cool, but things changed when 51 allied with TYMB, one of 800's biggest ops. That's when everything got real. It's rumored that 800 retaliated by killing 051 Tana's sister, a move that turned a street rivalry into a blood feud. And when Dusky was killed, rumors started circulating.
Yeah, 22 in his
800 was
hand.
planning to shoot up the funeral. It wasn't just about Dusky. 800 knew that 3 of their biggest op sets, including MOB and GeoDrive, would be at the funeral. Their motive was to catch and take out anyone they could. And in the chaos, Wooski just happened to be in the crossfire. The 800 Gang has made many enemies over the years, fueled by diss songs and little issues. 800 has mostly beef with MTG 039, Bando Boys, TW, and many more. They are mainly allied with OTV, with top members like Lil Fats, Lil Twin, Lil Twan, Sko, and Boss Smooth, who ran the sets. Meanwhile, 800,000 Tons, with some other 800 members like 800 Fats and Twan, would be involved in another shootout after a Bando Boys, Death of Curio from shootout after a failed gun trade. The death of Curio from MTG 039. On January 2nd, their motive was to catch and take out anyone they could, and in the chaos, Wooski just happened to be in the crossfire. The 800 Gang has made many enemies over the years, fueled by diss songs and little issues. 800 has mostly beef with MTG 039, Bando Boys, TW, and many more. They are mainly allied with OTV, with top members like Lil Fats, Lil Twin, Lil Twan, Sko, and Boss Smooth, who ran the sets. Meanwhile, $800,000 Tons, with some other 800 members like 800 Fats and Twan, would be involved in another shootout after a failed gun trade. The death of Curio from MTG 039. On January 2nd, 2020, a seemingly routine gun trade was set to take place on East 83rd Street in Chicago. The deal involved members of the 800 Gang and a member of Murder Town, known as Curio, his real name, Tyvel Qualls. At just 18 years old, Curio was looking to swap firearms with 800 members, unaware that this exchange would ultimately cost him his life. Lil Fats, 800 TJ, and Lil Twin were the 800 representatives for the trade. The plan was simple: meet Curio, swap guns, and go their separate ways. But that's not how things played out. As the deal unfolded, 800 members started to feel that Curio was trying to outsmart them. Suspicion turned into greed, and greed turned into violence. Instead of completing the trade, 800 members attempted to snatch Curio's firearm and make a run for it. But Curio wasn't about to let them get away so easily. He resisted. That's when things turned deadly. Lil Twin pulled out his weapon and fired. The first shot hit Curio in the leg. He struggled, still determined to protect his gun by running. The 800 members would pick up the chase against Curio with a fatal shot coming out from a tan truck. Lil Twin fired again, this time striking Curio in the neck.
Damn.
As he collapsed, bleeding out on the cold pavement, 800 TJ and the rest of the crew seized his weapon and fled the scene, leaving him to die. Curio was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but the damage was too severe. He was pronounced dead, another young life lost to the streets. But what made this murder even more chilling was what happened next. Just days after the killing, Lil Twin and Lil Fats took to social media, posting pictures of themselves holding Curio's gun, a sign of disrespect and a way of revealing to the world that 800 are the Backdoor Kings. And Curio wasn't the only victim. The 800 crew had a reputation for setting up trades and executing cold-blooded backdoor moves, with 800 TJ bringing up the idea. Another well-known case involved a man named Bando Hothead. Just like Curio, Bando was lured into a gun deal, only to be backdoored and killed. The death of Bando Hothead from Faceworld 069. Once again, the man behind the setup was 800 TJ, the so-called Backdoor King himself. Just 2 months after Curio's death, the 800 gang was back at it again. On March 10th, 2020, yet another gun trade was arranged, this time with Bando Hothead from Faceworld 069. His real name was Damian Rogers. The first gun trade that led to Curio's murder should have been a warning for Bando Hothead, a cautionary tale about the dangers of dealing with the 800 gang. But despite the risks, he still engaged in the trade, believing things would go differently this time. The deal was set to go down on 82nd in Maryland, with Bando trading his Glock with a switch for another firearm. At first, the transaction seemed to go smoothly. Bando secured his end of the deal and began walking back to his car, seemingly relieved that the exchange had been successful. But just as he was about to leave, everything changed. Without warning, Lil Fats, 800 TJ, and 800 Semi allegedly turned on him. Shots rang out in rapid succession. Bando was struck multiple times, in the back, head, and groin, before he even had a chance to react. He collapsed instantly, his lifeless body hitting the pavement. Unlike Curio, there was no rush to the hospital. Bando was pronounced dead at the scene, another casualty of a backdoor setup. But the violence didn't end there. As if the brutal execution wasn't enough, the 800 gang members once again took to social media, flaunting their crime. Fats, TJ, and 800 Semi posed with the guns they had taken, taunting Bando's allies and disrespecting the dead. Some members even went live, boasting about the two backdoor trades that had ended in murder, dissing both Curio and Bando in the process.
A new pack. We ain't trading no Glocks with that Drake. He got in his niggas for moving, don't do that. And we won't smoke with the city.
800 TJ would take it even further, going live on IG to diss Bando on his birthday.
And we created the nigga that's on your goofy, that hot boy shit that's on your neck. We created that pack, nigga.
These killings weren't random acts of violence. They were calculated moves, executed with precision, and fueled by the ruthless nature of Chicago's street wars. Boss G Gotti was also seen posing with Bando Hothead's switch on social media with the caption, "Everybody wants a Glock with a switch." This would escalate the beef between the two gang sets, with 069 Faceworld members seen riding around 800 hoods, looking for any member to smoke.
Lil Trey, where you at? Where you at, Lil Trey? On my brother grave. Snake? Hey, you a snake?
Somebody tell the 800 them I'm out here.
Bando Hothead was actually a rapper known for his hit song Facts, which went viral and gathered up to 10 million views on YouTube. After his passing, 800 terajoules would continue dissing both Bando and Curio in their song, rapping bars like, 3 shots, but he collapsed after the first. Because Hothead smokes, Curry died, and our back door opens. We come through the back, but swing through the front. The 800 gang wasn't just known for its violent setups. Its members were also vocal about their crimes, using music as a way to taunt their enemies. One of the most well-known 800 members, Boss Smooth, was no exception. Following the infamous murder of Curio, Boss Smooth released songs laced with sneak disses, making it clear that 800 had a hand in his death. One of the most revealing lyrics came from his remix of How I'm Coming, where he rapped, "It's supposed to been a trade for trade. He acting weird trying to play. He f*** around and he got played." However, in the world of Chicago's street wars, actions have consequences. Smooth may have mocked Curio's death, but he never could have predicted that his own days were numbered. On October 11th, 2020, Boss Smooth met his own fate. It was as if he sensed his death was coming. The day before he was gunned down, he posted an eerie message on Instagram. "No matter what I'm going through, you'll always catch me laughing and smiling." Was this a final message to his followers? Whatever the case, within 24 hours, he was dead. On the night of his death, Smooth posted a seemingly ordinary video on his Instagram story, a geotag that simply read, "Wild Wild Hundreds." Some speculated that this post played a role in what happened next, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Smooth wasn't even killed near there. The phrase "Wild 100s" could have referred to anywhere in the hundreds, making it impossible to say his location was compromised. What really happened took place miles away, on the 8600 block of South State Street in Chicago's Chatham neighborhood. That night, Smooth and his driver had likely stopped at a Shell gas station, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Just as they went about their routine, a car suddenly pulled up and pulled off 30 rounds from a powerful Draco rifle, killing Boss Smooth. There were rumors flying around claiming Boss Smooth's death was false. First things first, let's clear up a major false rumor. After Smooth's death, a now deleted disturbing photo of a man shot in the eye started circulating, with people claiming it was him. That was, in a way, false. The man's real identity in the photo was later confirmed, proving the image had nothing to do with Smooth's case. According to online viewers, Smooth was in the passenger seat when he was killed. That means someone else was driving. Some speculate that Lil Twin, 800, was behind the wheel that night, but there's no real evidence to back that up. In fact, it's unlikely. Lil Twin is a big target himself, and if he had been there, he probably wouldn't have made it out alive either. So, here's the big question. Who was with Smooth that night? And how did they survive? There are no clear answers, but the fact that the driver made it out unharmed has led some to question whether this was a setup. Of course, there's no hard proof to support that theory, but it keeps coming up in discussions. What's certain is that this was a reckless hit. According to inside sources and a Chicago resident who was across the street at the time, the police pulled up just as the shooter's car was leaving. It's unclear if they gave chase or not, but what we do know is that the suspects escaped onto the E-way and were never caught. After the news of Boss Smooth's death broke, the internet erupted with theories. Fans were desperate to figure out who was responsible, but the truth was far from clear. The day after the killing, several sets started posting pictures of their fallen homies. Names like McCreek, Twimby, Murdertown, Face World, and TW. This immediately led to speculation. Many believed this was a way of celebrating the hit, fueling theories that one of these sets was responsible for Smooth's death. But here's the twist. That theory turned out to be wrong. Then came Timo, who took the disrespect to another level. He openly dissed Smooth, even going as far as saying "B" at Boss Smooth. That only added more fuel to the fire, making fans believe he had something to do with it. To this day, no one has been officially named or arrested for the killing of Boss Smooth. However, one theory stood out more than the rest. Was FaceWorld 069 behind it? A picture surfaced of FaceWorld 069 shorties in a trap house with the words F Boss Smooth spray painted on the wall. To many, this was seen as a clear message. Was this their way of claiming credit? The timing made it even more suspicious, considering Smooth had been previously linked to the death of Bando Hothead. Then came the music disses. KC Money, a known Face World rapper, dropped a bar saying, "When Smooth got caught, he got left in his seat." With all these clues stacking up, Reddit and the internet ran with the theory. Face World had allegedly caught Smooth lacking and got their revenge. But it seemed false because Lil Twin would respond by posting on his IG that his ops didn't kill Smooth. Now fast forward to when KC Money, Face World 069, went live on Instagram with Lil Twin, 800. And that's when what seemed to be true would be revealed. Lil Twin wasn't having it. He was clearly aggravated that Face World kept claiming a body they didn't catch. He shut down the rumors, saying over and over, "Face World ain't do it." And KC Money? He didn't have much to say in response. Instead of denying it outright or doubling down, he brushed it off with a casual diss saying, "Your homie blowing Smooth right now," and also adding that Mix Mob killed Boss Smooth.
Bro, you watch me every day, bro. Look, I'm saying, look, can y'all not miss Smooth if y'all ain't do that? What? Can y'all not miss Smooth if y'all ain't do that, bro? Bro, you know if I did that to Smooth, bro. I ain't finna keep myself, bro. You said bro did that to Smooth. You know who did that to Smooth, bro. You not a face for real? Get the out loud, bro. And yourself. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, hey. Hey, this nigga cap. And yourself, bro. So this what you finna do on live? I ain't finna do shit, bro. I'm jealous, bro. On Pyro Mix Mob kill Smooth, nigga, on Diggy. You and or Face ain't have shit to do with that on Pyro. So who killed Smooth? Why you want to talk about dead bodies on here, bro? Yeah, I know, cause you cap. You know y'all ain't do that shit. Yo, hey, you can have this internet. Why you want to talk about dead bodies, bro? On Pyro, how he died. Hey, look, hey, check this out, bro. You want my number, bro? Look, man, send it through, cause I link for real. You want my number, bro? We can link up all that shit, bro. Y'all ass capping, bro. Send your number, then I link for real. I really 800 known for linking. 800 known for linking. You know we was just close to you, bro.
Now it's time to reference Bloodhound Lil Jeff because, after his death, 800 TJ went online and dissed him while riding down his block. Even before 800 TJ made a video in his block, he had already commented on his photo with a laughing emoji a few hours before he was shot. For the record, one of the most heated rivalries in recent years was the back and forth between 800 TJ and Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The two weren't just internet enemies. This was real street tension that played out both online and in the city. They constantly dissed each other live, throwing shots that only added more fuel to an already dangerous fire. But let's put this into perspective. 800 isn't just beefing with one or two sets. They're at war with nearly the entire South Side, and parts of the West Side, and even got smoke on the North Side with Lil Jeff and Vert, two known names who used to click up with Mix Mob. Jeff and Vert weren't quiet about the beef either. They were frequently seen on live, sending shots at 800 TJ and the entire 800 camp, making it clear that the tension wasn't letting up anytime soon. But as always in Chicago, when the disrespect gets too loud, real-life consequences follow, including a tragedy on June 8th, 2024. In the early hours of that Saturday, chaos erupted on the 6,600 block of South Rhodes Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. A deadly shootout unfolded, killing Bloodhound Lil Jeff. A video started circulating online, capturing the chaotic scene as it unfolded. It all began when Jeff and Q50 spotted one of their ops hopping out of a car outside an address on South Rhodes, a street that Jeff and his crew had boldly rapped about shooting up multiple times before. In the video, if you look closely, you'll see a car door opening with someone looking like Lil Jeff, ready for action. Without hesitation, he starts firing at a man wearing bright yellow shorts. who immediately ducks behind a car before sprinting up a porch and into a house. Jeff, relentless, keeps chasing and shooting. But then, the tables turned. As Jeff focused on his target, gunfire erupted.
What's good? We on drill music. Shit, I'm ready to
an entire magazine
the Backdoor King,
multiple times
800 TJ.
Even had a chance to react. Just like that, a rising name in the streets was gone. Now, here's where the speculation comes in.
Man.
With all the history between 800 and Lil Jeff, some believe this wasn't just a random shootout. It was retaliation, the constant disses, threats, and the way Jeff and Vert publicly targeted 800 could have finally caught up to him. Of course, there's no solid evidence tying 800 to the shooting, and in Chicago, ops are everywhere. But when a rivalry gets that deep, and someone who made a name off dissing his enemies gets taken out, people start to connect the dots. However, just after Lil Jeff's murder, 800 TJ would meet his fate. The chilling death of 800 TJ. For the record, the 069 Face World gangs are closely allied with M-Block, and they were both desperate to kill any 800 members, most especially 800 TJ. 800 TJ, Lolo from Paxtown, Trigger from Rawtown, Reckless from OTV, and Lil Snake from OTV went live with their ops, telling Bando, KD, and M-Block Spaz to pull up and show his location. Spaz pulled up and was looking for trouble. If you check his IG, he went straight to Rawtown Block, recording himself looking for ops to kill.
Nigga got an ARP.
Oh, I will break this. Shorty was walking. I damn, you get hit with a chopper on you, folks. That's it. Stop playing. Stop playing. Them bitches put up, folks. Stop playing. Them bitches put up, cap. They doing all that cap. Them bitches put up, folks. Yeah, stop playing my shorty. How you coming, Reese?
The beef between M-Block and 800 became intense as both 800 TJ and M-Block members would go back and forth on live dissing each other. 800 TJ, known for being crazy and disrespectful on live, would go live with an M-Block member telling him to his face that they are up 2-0 on the scoreboard against them, meaning the 800s killed 2 M-Block members, while M-Blocks killed 0 800 members.
Block. They ass down too. We smoking fast.
Get so goofy,
Devo, boy, I ain't right.
Stop talking about the Grand Reaper, bro. He really out here. Spaz is really out here. Collecting. Nah, what you all though? I see niggas back on the 9. Oh, it'll go up.
He said, got blocked. They ass down too. Yeah, we smoking fast. Free JD. Free JD. I don't smoke that. That ain't my word.
Hey, look, we up on the 29th snakes while they standing on the top. And you just merged that on me. Now look, when we get off this live, I'm gonna tell you how. Cause y'all just don't know. Hold tight, nigga. Yeah.
How we
yeah.
don't know.
I ain't got look on them. I ain't gotta say shit, folks. I don't gotta tell y'all, folks. We ain't gotta say nothing to y'all. Y'all know what's up, folks.
Hey, look, on my uncle.
On tape, nigga, we up on y'all, nigga. On phone them. I ain't gonna lie, nigga. We just don't speak on shit we do.
We ain't tight. We are tight. Ain't nobody die from that.
Hey, look. This ain't no new shit, bro. Oh.
Get the all out, bro. In yourself. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Show that nigga in himself.
This nigga cap. In yourself, bro. So this what you finna do on live? I ain't finna do shit, bro. I'm jealous, bro. I'm seeing on Pyro makes mom kill Smooth, nigga, on Dig. You and or Face right had shit to do with that on Pyro. So who killed Smooth?
M-Block started moving around, looking for 800 TJ. It became crazier as the M-Block members frequently went live together and arranged shootouts for the whole world to see. 800 TJ would mainly go live with an M-Block member named Die Y, who seemed desperate.
M-Block, Die Y.
Always check in. When I check in, motherfuckers be running. On my son, real life running. Can't even play ball. I don't even know shorty ass. I never seen him on the block when I came through that bitch. Stop that. On my son, nigga.
Never seen this goofy ass. He don't even be outside. He even got his own gun.
His ass needs to get out and come on here with his bapping ass. He know how it gets.
Oh,
This is why Karen Miller be saying my Wi-Fi shitty.
And I still got the video of you running on my son, nigga. About niggas just be talking. He ain't in these streets for real.
Yeah. Yeah,
on BD, nigga. We ran straight down 69th. Okay, Katie, we ran all up they lane. Okay, nigga. Police sitting on the corner and some more shit. Fuck niggas just talking. Yeah, man.
You come out on the 9?
1 hour, 13 minutes.
29th, Katie, on Deontay Thompson, we rolled up the trail, gang. And police was at the corner, and we still went back up the trail. Niggas be fronting that shit.
Yeah.
And this out of town ass niggas.
This one right here.
He got a ray gun on
Pull
him.
in. Drive, pull up on all them cars. Who? Yeah. Okay, time. Yeah, that's a goofy.
Oh, that's an ARP.
Oh, what TJ? What the is TJ? What? I thought we doing this for a live, right? Where's TJ? On phone them grade. Take a look. Shut up. I'm not playing. I'm not playing with niggas. Man, keep straight. I'm not playing. I'm ready to throw it all
Yeah,
away.
he got a 7.62 ARP.
Here I come. Turn your camera off. We ain't gotta show nobody this shit. Yeah. Which lane?
Pick a lane.
Whichever one. Pick a lane. The middle, right? If I come up this middle lane, your ass better not run. Come on.
In line. He said, come on.
After the live, we weren't sure if they both engaged in a shootout, but if they did engage, nobody was arrested. TJ was bold enough to disclose his location to his ops, M Block DIY, as he was desperate to kill 800 TJ.
These niggas out here sliding for real, boy. His ass on Snake.
TJ was never aware that his ops were so damn serious about putting a bullet in his head, because on the 10th of July 2024, he would post on his Instagram bragging about stealing a gun from a member of MCB called Get Wild Kane. G Kane and 800 TJ were cool at some point, but when 800 TJ started backdooring even his friends by taking guns, he posted a trolling message with them going back and forth and a picture of G Kane and the Glock with a switch he took from him. 800 TJ also said on the post to tell him, "Stop talking crazy to me before I pull back up. How you mad I took your gun?" Kane would then go on Instagram Live and claim that TJ would be killed within the next 48 hours for stealing his gun. It didn't take up to 48 hours when TJ was dead. On the 11th of July, 2024, TJ was riding in a car at around 5:17 p.m. on Interstate 94 northbound between 83rd and 79th Street in the Chatham neighborhood. While he was in the car, instead of him to stay low, he went live dissing his ops.
You know what he's doing. But he said, how you coming, Lee?
Yeah. Are you out here today?
I'm out here every day.
Yeah.
He said, I'm out here
you
every
gotta
day.
come on stony for your ass with a neck.
Damn. They both is the next.
Stony for the neck.
It is the next.
29.
Yeah, you wanna kill me, blood? I just wanna play ball.
All we do is take gym.
You know that, blood.
Yeah.
Every gym we got this bitch been took. We don't even pay for those.
Hey, we don't even pay for shit.
And I don't play with that.
Hey,
Hey, what that is?
What you want?
It was obvious TJ revealed his location, but this time turned out to be his time to die as some dudes pulled up and shot him multiple times. He was transported to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. His homie, Trigger, would go to their social media to share his heartfelt messages and show sympathy. After TJ's death was officially announced, his ops celebrated and dissed him on social media. Most especially, Get Wild Kane quickly went on Instagram Live to celebrate and claim he was responsible for the hit.
24 hours, man. 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. 20 hours, bleed. TJ all in the way.
We can get it on.
Blowing his pipe.
I noticed one of y'all on the fake tape. My homie went out blowing his strap. Y'all homie just got his ass chased out his shoes.
Man, like they niggas, man. On Tay Green, we real sharks. Don't ask about sharks. We hurt shit on Tay Green. I told y'all, 24 hours. Call him, ask him what happened, what's wrong with him. Check on him. Check on that man.
We get money, man. We chillin'.
We real life get money. I was somewhere touching a bag, dumbass, while he was stealing guns and shit. That probably was food on me always trolling. They got up with his dumbass. Huh? Hey, they want me to drop those twins. They want me to drop.
Hey, boy, your ass better drop right now, boy. Right now. Motherfucker, wait. I've been told your ass keep dropping. Didn't I tell you?
It's possible G. Kane was the hitman because many Chicago gangs hate 800 TJ. Well, no one has been charged for the death of TJ. G. Kane would later drop the music video called Mr. 24 on YouTube, where he's dissing 800 TJ. Many viewed G. Kane's action as a way of chasing clout and promoting his song because anyone guilty of murder isn't going to do all that.
It's stupid, bro. Y'all dumbass song. But y'all can go stream my music, though. Y'all can go stream the music for me. Come on. Go stream. Go stream.
M Block members would also go online to taunt 800 TJ after his passing, claiming it was them who took the hit.
Hey, I'm on that TJ. I'm on the E-way on my dead cousin.
Well, 800 TJ was a street dude who just got into rapping because of the street, and now he has been smoked due to his crazy way of dissing ops and backdooring them for their pipes. We have much respect for 800 TJ. We hope his death won't turn Chicago into a bloodbath area, even for the innocent, as members of 800 OTV and Raw Town have since taken to Instagram to film themselves sliding in for their homie, 800 TJ.
I know that throughout this stream, people are gonna clip this up, different parts.
That motherfucker TJ was, man. He was outside for real. But alright, chat, that's the end of this stream. I gotta wake up early in the morning tomorrow.
Too many days, too many times out there, not drowned in pain.
D-Mark got that heat.
Commit sins, never again, I lost my man. I seen the ops they ran. We pull up blocks too many.